Hi guys, Sandy here. In this video today we're going to look at a technique analysis, which is something that you can get on the website, padelschool.com, and a player from Japan, her name is Rieko, she sent me a video of her bandeja, so we're going to analyze her bandeja, break it down and give her some ways of correcting that. Now before I forget, please click subscribe and the bell for the notifications so that you make sure that you get all of the weekly videos. Hey Rieko, how are you doing? So I'm just having a look at your bandeja, and there's two main areas that I think that would help you if you kind of change slightly. The first of all is your racket back position. So you're going from your ready position here, the racket is coming back into this position here with the elbow so that it's almost at 90 degrees, and from here you're kind of going through your bandeja like this, but really you want to have that racket up so the back arm is almost straight, because from here you can brush down that ball. If you look at the swing path with your racket here, it kind of goes up and then down, and what that means is that it's inconsistent contact and the result will obviously be inconsistent. So from your ready position you want to practice just getting that arm up a little bit, and from here then you can kind of go through that ball, and like I say, a high forehand volley where you go through that ball and it's a much more consistent swing path from here through to here. You see, like it's in a downward motion like that, and that will make your contact a lot more consistent. Now if you watch some of the best female players like Alejandra Salazar for example, she goes back into this position, but then before she contacts she stretches up like this. So you do see, and the same with Martita Ortega, she will go back into a position where the arm is almost fully straight before they come with that bandeja. Particularly from the forehand side, you want to make sure that you kind of keep that action controlled and compact so you can hit that nice cross court. So looking at the shot now, we can see here, can you see that that elbow is just bent on the take back there? And we'll look at that now. So the racket goes back and you can see that the racket is about kind of head height here. You can see I've circled it there, and that the elbow is bent kind of almost slightly more than 90 degrees, but not much more. And from here you can see that the racket swing path goes through slightly higher and then goes straight down, and it just means that it's just a little bit inaccurate. Starting with a slightly straighter and higher arm will feel a lot easier. The second area is more about the confusion with the vibra. So your bandeja is the action with the chest, it's a high forehand volley. The vibra is where you're using the arm a lot more, like there's a kind of flexion and extension of the elbow so that you can get more speed around the ball. Now looking at your video, you move back into this position here, which would be considered a bandeja position, but with the elbow down like this and your action, it ends up looking like a kind of cross between the vibra and the bandeja. And that's something that you mentioned before, you're learning the vibra at the moment. You want to try and make it as clearly separate as possible so that when you come into this position, you're like, right, bandeja, you start with the racket up higher, you play through with the chest. If it's a little bit closer and easier, then you focus, you say, right, vibra straight away. And that will, once you can kind of separate the two of them, it will make it much easier to focus on the technique for both of them separately. When the ball goes up, if you've got time and you can get behind the ball, you can then want to hit and get your momentum forward again. If you're really defending and you watch the pros and they come back here and they hit their bandeja from almost a service line, they kind of hit and they're falling back slightly, but then they push themselves forward. So what I was going to say is, if it's a lob and you can get back fast behind that ball and contact in front and get forward with your body weight, try and do that on the bandeja, vibra, any of your smashes. If you can't and it is really deep and you're playing it and you're going to hit, then try to do it with one step and then you go forward. Because in this video, I think you have time, but you're still kind of falling backwards on that just because you haven't got back fast enough. So looking at the movement back now, we've got 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, and then a 5th step to actually hit your shot. And you can see that the body weight is still falling backwards, when really you could get back in that position with 2 or 3 fast steps, and therefore you'll be behind the ball, and that will be a lot easier then for your momentum to go forward. So you really want to be fast back and then in a good position to step with your body forward. So you could see there we identified 2 main areas for the bandeja that can be improved straight away, and that will have an immediate effect on the game and hopefully Rieko's confidence when it comes to hitting that shot. Now if you like this technical analysis and you want it done yourself, I'm going to put a link down in the description, and basically you send me your video of a shot and I will analyze it for you, send you back a short video with things to work on and areas to improve. I'll put that link also on the side over here, as well as a video about bandejas that if you want to learn more about that particular shot.